for the record,
Thank
and
you.
that'd be great.
I'm John Schmidt, pastor, Cornerstone Baptist Church, Elko, 1795 Ruby View. And actually, I put my comments down in writing to try to be as precise as possible, because I know this is a very complicated issue with lots of different things. And my comments are kind of a follow-up on the comments with respect to the survey dated February 5th that was submitted to the council. So on February 11th, a discussion ensued at the city council meeting regarding moving forward on dealing with managing a difficult situation in our community. That of finding a workable solution to the camping of the homeless that is occurring within the city limits of Elko, most predominantly along the Humboldt River. At that time, the issue was tabled for further discussion, and I have 4 comments I'd like to make just for consideration for tonight's discussion. Number 1, my encouragement to the council tonight is to push through this issue to make a decision. Making no decision is a decision. It is a decision that de facto makes camping on public city property a right for any individual, in that it legitimizes squatting rights. No decision takes a position that the city will make no attempt to provide for access to basic needs for homeless individuals, such as fresh water, bathroom facilities, and garbage disposal. A no decision establishes a separate class, in my opinion, of citizens for the 0.5%, which is approximately 90 people out of a population of 18,000, that do not always have to comply with the same community standards of conduct, codes, and laws that the other 99.5% are expected to follow. A no decision puts the homeless in an untenable position that they have no control over. They are thus stigmatized, dehumanized, and often put into positions of becoming the recipients of negative and adverse public opinion that they have no opportunity to address. A no decision states the city will take no responsibility to oversee and manage our environment, especially the Humboldt River ecosystem. And we have learned the hard way over the last 50+ years with respect to caring for our environment that nature has the ability to rebound from abuse, but also has a fragility to it that cannot be ignored. And a no decision also fails to recognize and appreciate that a significant portion of the homeless population, as found in the survey results, do not wish to trash our environment, but are willing to live within a workable solution. A suggestion was made for a community walkthrough of the river to see how significant the problem is. Objections were raised because there was a sense that this will be walking through people's homes. Both perspectives, in my opinion, are correct. This is public property that the public has a right to usage, safety, cleanliness, etc., and should feel free to access and walk through. However, by the city's past inaction, the homeless naturally experience what is referred to as squatters' mentality. The longer they are allowed to remain in a location, the more that it is considered their home, and the emotional attachment becomes deeper. To decide now to walk through their homes when they have been allowed to live there for so long is really an emotional trampling and needs to be approached with great care and respect. As can be seen from just the few preceding comments, this issue cannot be addressed by advocating just the rights or needs of the homeless, or conversely, just the rights or needs of the remaining 99.5%. It must be addressed as a both and not an either or. The second comment for consideration is based on comments from the February 11th council meeting. It is my opinion that attaching this particular item to solving the homeless issue is misguided, though well-intentioned, misappropriate, and non-productive. The proposal that was dated February 5th was never intended to reduce homelessness. My report to the council stated this. This matter only provides a vehicle to providing basic service needs to the homeless, while also addressing the good of the community needs with respect to health, safety, public access, and environmental concerns. Point number 3 comment. I applaud the desire to reduce homelessness. I do believe government has a role in providing a catalyst for action. However, it is my opinion that government's role should be active but limited. If this is to occur, I believe the City Council must change its approach to decision making with respect to these kinds of issues. In July of last year, a report from an ad hoc community task force on homelessness was issued. In this report, many specific recommendations were made, some of them directed to the City Council. During discussions about one of these recommendations, that of providing shelter for emergency cold, One of the council members objected to the city getting involved at any level, i.e. by declaring a cold weather emergency, and has stated that the nonprofits and other service providers are best suited to address such situations. This last February 5th report to the council also made a few recommendations that would move the ball forward. No discussion on this has been brought forward yet. It was stated by a member of the council that nothing should be done by the city until the city has a comprehensive plan to eliminate or at least reduce homelessness. In my opinion, these two positions, which are diametrically opposed to each other, can result in leadership paralysis with respect to making headway on homeless issues in our community. The homeless and the community both suffer as a result. If the council would like to see positive action regarding the homeless issue, I would strongly reiterate my previous recommendation found in my February 5th report regarding the establishment of an interagency task force. The City Council has the opportunity to act as a catalyst in recommending the establishment of such task force that crosses city, county, mental health, and other service provider boundaries. This task force should be the working group to wrestle with complex issues and attempt to identify and implement solutions. This allows the City Council to perform its advisory and oversight role without the necessity of becoming involved in the minutiae of detail. And then point number 4, I believe the decision before you regarding a designated camping site can be summarized and simplified to the following 5 options. And these 5 options are not necessarily good options, they are just the options that are before us. Option A, do nothing and continue to talk. And we already discussed some of the problems with that. Under this option, the needs of the community are not addressed and the needs of the homeless are not addressed. It is a lose-lose situation all the way around. Option B, the city officially declare the river as a designated camping site. This would entail, first of all, removing it from public usage, would entail creating access to the river by possibly removing some of the sound wall near fish, putting in roadways, etc., providing restrooms along the river, placing dumpsters at strategic locations along the river, and rigorously enforcing cleanliness standards to protect the river environment. Option C, the city carve out acreage from the proposed sports complex, approximately 8 to 10 acres, and set it aside for designated camping for the homeless. Option D, skipped over that. Oh, rats, I lost option D. Option D, which is not on here because I reprinted a page. Option D talks about a designated property or properties that the city owns, similar to what we've discussed already, and then providing services on those properties. And then option E is the city purchase a piece of property, possibly near fish, and designate it for these types of activities, possibly for both temporary and more permanent solutions. Personally, I would suggest settling in on option D for the shorter term with option E longer term. However, every one of these options have unknowns and unanswered questions associated with them. Many of those answers cannot be adequately found until something is implemented. We can all speculate as to what we think may happen on this journey, but no one really knows until the first step is taken. Respectfully submitted. Thank you, Mayor and Council members.
Okay.